Welcome to the GVTC podcast. I'm John Hill. I am manager over communications and e-commerce, and I'm super excited today to be joined by my colleague and my good friend, Miss Maria Claudia Redd, who is the marketing manager, the marketing guru at GVTC. Welcome to the podcast, Maria.
Thanks, John. That's the first time I've been called a guru.
What you do at GVTC is our marketing manager. What does that role look like for you?
So our role at GVTC is basically to bring brand awareness to GVTC and also kind of connect us to the community in different ways, not only through the products and services that we provide, but the impact we have in the community.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that I always joke with you about is I am very kind of like black or white. I'm very like, this is, what the information I have kind of points me to. Yeah. This is a decision I make. Mm-hmm. One of the things I think that we work so, reasons we work so well together is because we balance each other out. You're very like, you're kind of like really good about what I call like the things that we can't quantify, right? Mm-hmm. And so a big part of that is telling GVTC's kind of brand story and being able to do that in a way that is compelling to people. I mean, tell us a little bit about what is your approach and how do you put together kind of the things that you've accomplished over the years, putting out a story, whether it be video or whatever. How do you go about that? Is that just something that you feel inside of you, or is that something that you develop as a strategy? What does that look like?
That's a good question. So, we work so well across different departments here at GVTC, everything from the product team to our communications team to our marketing team. We draw inspiration from so many different places, right? Mm-hmm. So we may have a unified goal working towards a campaign and getting engagement from that campaign, but really when we're strategizing about how to put a campaign together, we really look for those relatable experiences that our customers can connect with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You base that off like what persona information we have on the market, or is it stuff that you like, or is it stuff that our boss likes, which I can tell you that's a big part of my strategy, right? Yeah. If Jeff wants me to dress up like a clown and act like I'm in the circus, that's going to be a part of the ad. But that doesn't mean it's always going to perform well, right? Right. But is it? I mean, whether it be video or whatever, is it stuff? I mean, you kind of have your own style about things, which I think is really awesome. Like a lot of the ads you put together around, kind of the family element, which is a big part of our customer base, right? Right. I think you've really done a great job of telling that story. But is that just really kind of working with your partners to help tell that story, or is that really all kind of Maria's vision?
So Maria's vision, that's a good question. I think that, like I was saying, we draw inspiration from so many different places, and just hanging out with your friends, with your family, right? You're looking for those relatable experiences, something that draws emotion. Yeah. And so that's what we're looking for into what can create a good campaign or get inspiration for a good campaign. Yeah. Because ultimately, what makes you happy or makes you sad or just makes you feel a certain way is very important about that helps draw the decisions about who you do business with, right? And what you connect with. So I think it's just really important to be really open and finding that inspiration can happen at any time, at any place, and be ready to jot it down. So I definitely keep my phone on me, and Basecamp is a lifesaver. That's one of our project management tools, right? Yeah. So definitely whenever I'm hanging out with friends, like I said, or with their family, or even in a group setting or in a meeting, we make sure to write these ideas down, because even though they may not be relevant to a current campaign, they may draw inspiration for a future campaign. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
One of the things I think that I really struggle with, and I think a lot of people struggle with, right, is like brand, right? Mm-hmm. Like GVTC has a brand, a lot of Apple, is huge, kind of a brand type of thing, right? But I don't think anybody really knows what it's like behind the scenes of managing a brand. Yeah. Right? I know me. Yeah. I mean, I've worked in this industry for quite some time, and I still struggle to kind of, when people ask me what does a brand mean, but, I don't even know if I really have a solid answer to that. Yeah. What does brand mean to you?
Well, to your point, right? It depends who you're talking to. Yeah. A brand, I like to feel like I'm a steward of the brand, right? So we have our brand guidelines, we have specific colors and fonts and things that we have to adhere to have continuity, so our brand is recognizable. But really, it's ultimately about how that brand makes you feel, right? So being a steward of that brand, what that means to me is having the responsibility to portray us in a positive way, but also to make sure that all of our teams are aligned, right, in the message, that ultimately our brand's mission, vision, and values are always portrayed in a way that we expect them to, in a unified format.
Yeah, kind of be that thing that is almost the unconscious thing that comes to people's mind when they hear the GVTC name, right? Is like the first thing that kind of pops in their mind. Maybe that's kind of what I've always envisioned as brand.
Right.
But it is still one of those things that I think people struggle to articulate, right? So what are outside? I always tell people too. They're like, "You work in the sales and marketing department at GVTC. What is that like?" And I was like, "Well, we're kind of direct performance marketing based, and we try to build relationships with stories. Really, that's really simple as I put it. But at the end of the day, we're communication services, right? And it's not like we're doing the iPhone or something like that, right?
Not yet.
Or something as trendy as like a Tesla, which you drive, by the way, right?
Right.
Or do you still drive Teslas, or do they drive themselves?
Tesla drives me.
Gotcha. Well, us poor people that still drive a truck, we have to drive ourselves to work. I actually passed you a couple times. I think you're napping on the way into the office from New Braunfels. But
I mean, my 15-minute commute can be really taxing,
But I mean, we're being honest with ourselves, right? It's fiber internet and things of that nature. It maybe may not be as compelling or as easy to tell a story as something like an iPhone or a Tesla. But how do you do that? How do you wake up in the morning and get passionate and fired up about telling a story and marketing about communication services?
Yeah. Well, I'm a mom, right? I have a family, kids at home. We've all been in those unique situations where you want your internet to work, right? You've had experiences where your teenagers are not so happy with you because, right, the internet's not working, it's the end of the world. Well, truth be told, even my in-laws may not be happy if the internet's not working, right? So I think that what motivates me is really to understand how I can be, how our products and services can kind of place a positive spin on their lifestyle, how we can impact their quality of life. And not just our products and services, right? I mean, it's also, we invest heavily in our foundation. We give back to our community. So how is it that what we do from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock how is that going to positively impact the community that we serve? How can we make our lifestyle or their lifestyles be more comfortable, or how we can be more forward facing to make sure that we're resolving their problems, or even looking proactively about how to resolve their problems.
You notice she hit on the 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock note, because Maria is, when I think of a conscientious person working, your office is like 3 doors down from me. She is literally here at 7:30 and works till 5 o'clock every day. And I feel so bad when I sneak out at 2 o'clock 2 or 3 times a week. I feel really guilty about it. But I know that you don't give me too much of a hard time about it.
Well, I'm not up as early as you are with a newborn, but I know you're here before me almost every day. So
well, it's just because I was up anyways, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Teddy got me up early anyways.
Yeah.
But thinking about kind of a lot of the campaigns that we worked together on over the years, and stories and rebranding and was it
a brand refresh?
What's a technical term? Brand refresh.
We called it a brand refresh.
Is that what they call it in the industry?
Okay. Yeah.
But you worked on a lot of projects, and we worked on a lot of projects together.
Yeah.
What's kind of like the ones that stick out of your mind? Any favorite projects that you like to tell people about?
Oh gosh, there's so many. I mean, like I said, we have such a fantastic team. We've had the pleasure of launching some very big products that we are very proud of, but there's also smaller initiatives too that we didn't really expect to hit a home run in, right? So a few to begin with, recent ones, right? We recently did an augmented reality campaign.
Oh yeah.
Right, a couple years ago, and it featured the high school athletes
Yeah, that
in
was
our
cool.
area. So it was really cool to be able to bring them into the picture, to highlight them.
And
Sarah
that
and
was for when people could pick up their phone and they could see the Spissons Valley football player like
yeah,
standing in their living room, right? And he did like a
yes,
GVTC like jingle or an ad, right? That played in your living room. It's like,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Well, we were so lucky to be able to kind of play with these technologies at the same time and learn from them.
Yeah.
So we actually went to a studio in Austin, a special augmented reality studio where we were able to give these students the experience too, to learn, right?
Yeah.
And they were filmed in this 3D set, basically where it captured them and it made them basically like a 3D image.
Yeah.
So you would, on your phone, be able to place that athlete in your field of view, and it would look like they would be standing in front of you. But what was really special about that was that one of my favorite experiences was Sarah and I, who's on my team, we were able to go to the Piper High School football game. And her and I were handing out the postcards to all of the people in attendance at the football game, right? That had a QR code so that you could have the experience. We had one of their players featured. And just being able to engage with the audience and sit in the, in the actual football stand and see their reaction and get personal feedback without them knowing who we were necessarily. It was really just rewarding, but also rewarding to be able to meet the parents and meet the students and hopefully give them something that they would remember for a long time.
Yeah, no, that was an awesome example of using technology to be creative,
Yeah.
even at a smaller scale like what GVTC is, and be able to do it in a way that a lot of people hadn't really done before.
Right.
That's what I thought was so impressive about that campaign.
Yeah.
One of the things that me and you talk a lot about, if Uncle Jeffrey, our boss, listens to this, is balancing the both of us and our teams. We like to do things that are fun, right? And things that tell good stories. I always talk about with like Sam and our production team about creating videos like Yeti did with the dogs and things we've done, kind of emotional, compelling stuff.
Yes.
But Uncle Jeffrey get mad at us if we don't sell and support and do like the direct marketing stuff as well.
Yeah.
How do you kind of balance doing what our boss wants us to do and what the brand requires of us to drive sales, but also do it in a genuine, authentic, compelling, and a storytelling way? How do you do that?
Right. I think that video especially is very impactful in being able to tell a story, right? So if we want a campaign to really elicit emotion, it's really important to use video. It's one of the best ways to be able to just really deliver that message. One of our campaigns that you and I worked on was the Fast and Bernie campaign, right? Some people may remember that in the room. And basically we featured a race car driver, Ty Paxson. And I was so proud of the way that was portrayed, because aside from the fantastic video production, it was almost like something out of a documentary you would see on Netflix. I was proud to highlight, somebody in the community and then tie it back to a fast race car driver and our fast internet speeds. And we also went downtown and did the car rally in front of Soda Pops and Bernie. And that's what's so special about us being a local provider, right? We're ingrained in the community. We're part of the campaign almost. Right. And so when the campaign elicits engagement and it produces, those things that are important for our boss, things that are especially important to the business, which are brand recognition, community loyalty and engagement. That's the sweet spot, right? When you can have that community engagement and meet those business needs at the same time, that's the ideal situation.
So we talked a little bit about kind of your role and a lot of the things that play a part in that. And um, one of the things too is I know that you're a busy mom and a wife. You got a lot of stuff going on. I mean, how do you balance all that? I think your daughter is what, a senior in high school now, right?
Junior, yeah.
Junior in high school,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
And she's very active in soccer and things of that nature, right?
Yep.
How do you balance all of being a mom and being a manager at GVTC at the same time?
That's a good question. I think I'm just blessed with, having a family that's very supportive. We're all very creative in our own ways. My husband is also kind of in a marketing role, or,
Yeah.
we share the same likes, right? He's very much more customer engagement focused. So it's almost like just part of our family thread. And I find that I also draw inspiration from them too,
Yeah.
right? And they keep me young.
Right.
They keep me in tune with what's out there. My girls, I have a 22-year-old and a 16-year-old, and it's just a really fun time. And being a manager, at GVTC here too, we've been blessed with a team that's amazing to work with.
Right.
So many people, all of the employees really want to give their best every single day. And so we want to produce a brand and a message that makes them proud of it.
Yeah, and we're really in a unique spot to where we're a company
Yeah.
and we provide a service, right? But we also do so many things in the community, and I've always felt like, that is more of our, on the social media side, the communication side, I try to really focus on telling the stories around that. And then the products and services kind of take care of themselves. They're like they're another actor in this movie that we're playing in,
So
right?
true.
And
Yeah.
I felt like that's really a part of our story that people connect with, and I think you do a great job of also doing that, from tying that into the brand and all the different things that you kind of work on, and really making that be the subconscious thing that people think of GVTC, right? It's not just about communication services; it's about scholarships in the community and giving back to people on Thanksgiving and things of that nature.
Absolutely.
Another thing that I think we both have talked a lot about, right, is you know our industry and what we do is constantly evolving, and especially in marketing, it's changing probably faster than other areas, right? With
Absolutely.
whether it be in social media or whether it be just in kind of marketing best practices in general, right? And we are a GVTC, a local provider, but we also have to keep ourselves kind of up to date on what the latest and greatest of technology and marketing technology, customer experience. What's your process of? Are you reading books? You taking classes? Are you asking your kids? How do you stay in kind of that growth mindset so you can bring things like augmented reality to life in our marketing tactics?
That's a great question. Like I mentioned before, I mean, you and I are both so lucky to be able to be given kind of a wide rein on being able to, to kind of explore different tactics, different ways to communicate with our audience. And definitely. I mean,
you listen to podcasts too, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. I think so.
Hopefully you'll tune into this one.
hopefully we'll get a few views. But yeah, I mean, definitely reading books obviously is always important, but just being able to collaborate with other people in the industry, and it doesn't even have to be in the telecommunications industry. It could be in different levels. Things are tough out there right now for marketing. I mean, trying to gain any kind of attention we're fighting for attention every day, right? The average person is multitasking with 100 different things. So I would say that just being engaged with within our community, wanting to do what's best for our brand, to portray it in a way that we all are proud of, and just being in touch with not only the national things that are trending, but tying it back to how that applies to our own community values and how we can keep growing and expanding.
Yeah. Another area I know you're very passionate about is on the website and kind of the customer experience we provide on the website.
Right.
I know we joke about it all the time. I'm kind of the opposite approach of you. You're very kind of like the experience needs to be a certain way. It needs to be trigger these certain emotions. And I'm like, I don't care what the experience is. It's one that sells the most, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm kind of being a jerk about it, but I'm also kind of being serious when I say that.
We balance each other out. Yeah.
What is kind of your approach on, or what are your thoughts on like providing a good customer experience through digital? And is there a method to the madness there, or is it really just kind of an ongoing, evolving process for you?
Well, yeah, I mean, ultimately what marketing's taught me is to keep things simple, right? You say it every day, just make it simple.
Yeah.
If you can't communicate something clearly and concisely in a short amount of time, you're going to lose attention. So I think that that's really key.
Yeah.
But really, like, understanding who our audience is and who our what our goals are in order to fulfill their needs, that's ultimately it. But just keeping it simple.
So going back in time a little bit, before you were a marketing manager, you were a marketing coordinator, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What was that kind of just defined as being in the trenches, actually executing marketing content and all that type of, like our stuff from back in the day? That was you putting that stuff together?
It was, yeah, me.
Back in the day defined as 15 years or less, right?
Yeah, it feels like yesterday in a lot of ways, but yeah, I think that that's been really helpful for me in this position too, is knowing kind of what it takes to do things in a small team of one that's executing, besides, obviously my manager.
Learning how to work under serious resource constraints.
Exactly.
Right?
Time and resource, money. I mean, we're all used to that, right? But also just understanding that we're not going to get everything done, but prioritizing was one of the things I learned the most in that role, I guess. And being able to be really creative about creating campaigns that are scaled quickly and efficiently and
being
on
able
time.
to keep sparking new ideas and being creative in your own
Exactly.
way, right?
Yeah, but I was, even though it was only me in that position, obviously I'm working with so many departments here at GVTC, and we all play a really big role in that, right?
Yeah.
That's what's so great, is that we sit down and collaborate and brainstorm ideas and make things happen.
So a little bit behind the curtain for our audience listening. So a lot of our viewership, listening to this podcast and our viewership on YouTube and then behind on our social channels, a lot of that demographic is female, right? Probably over about 60%. And so I think there's a lot of women out there listening to this that would be like, I want to get into marketing and know kind of really don't know how to get started. I know you went to TLU, right?
I did.
They just had a profile on you on their website, right?
Yeah.
Did a profile on you and interviewed you and did that whole thing, right?
Yeah, that was a big honor. Yeah, it's come full circle.
Yeah, so shout out to TLU and Seguin, right?
Go Bulldogs.
That's right. Distinguished alumni here.
Oh, right.
You can email her at her GVTC email for sponsorship.
Right, exactly. You know where to find me.
But tell us a little bit. Did you always know you were going to get into marketing, or is it something that just evolved over time and you stumbled into, or was it when you were coming out of TLU, you're like, I want to tell brand stories for a living for the rest of my life?
Yeah, I went into TLU pre-law. I
didn't even know that.
Yeah, I did. Right?
Really?
Yeah, you learn something new every day. 10 years later.
I can't even picture you.
I know.
Jesus.
I know.
Picking somebody apart on the stand.
Could you not, though?
That'd be the nicest questioning ever.
Could be, maybe. But yeah, I quickly found out, that just wasn't going to be it for me. One of my earliest memories was doing a project. This may take you back. Do you remember the California Raisins campaign?
Yes, I do.
Okay, of course you do, right? So I remember doing a project about that, and I was just having so much fun with that. And that was probably, I don't know, middle school, somewhere around there, high school. And eventually, you know, I got a communications degree and learned graphic design and fell in love with that. But ultimately, I knew that I wanted to think bigger and do bigger things. And I was lucky to be able to share that with TLU and also here at GVTC.
Was that something right out of college that you got a job in marketing?
I was in graphic design. I was producing ads for 7 different trade magazines. So I was cranking out literally advertisements back when Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop were in the single digits. So
Wow.
yeah, it was kind of like in the trenches, really just cranking things out.
I guess that's probably the best way to learn, right?
Yeah.
Is creating content, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Another thing that I've observed and admired from you is that you're really great at, over the time I've worked with you, you've first hired, then developed some amazing young people and inspired them to be super creative in their own ways.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that. Like, is that something that is just a part of who you are, or is that something you intentionally try to prioritize to be good at?
Absolutely. I think you and I both have a very growth leadership mindset, right? We want to, like you said, we want to mentor. We treat our team as if we're mentoring them to grow on to bigger and better things. So yeah.
I don't know, my team's in here. I don't know if they would say that. But
Yeah.
but I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
They probably would tell you, I haven't talked to John in 3 weeks, but whatever.
Whatever, you know, you have a different approach than me. But definitely, yeah, I think that's very important for me because we all learn from our successes and our challenges and maybe our mistakes even, right? So I think it's really important to be able to give our teams kind of the breath to feel like they can kind of stumble.
Yeah.
As long as we're moving forward and we're giving them the capacity to keep moving forward, I think we're going to do even bigger and better things.
Yeah. Yeah, no, really the way I look at it, and I think we kind of have the same approach on this. It's like, I just view myself as a coach.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And then at the end of the day, it's like, I'm coaching them that if I get hit by a bus tomorrow, they could step in and do my job.
Yeah,
right?
let's hope not.
Or if I hit the lottery, maybe that's a better way to say it, right?
Yeah.
It's like if I hit the lottery, they could step in, and my boss would not have to stay up at night sweating because the job would get done, right? You train them to do the job, right? To take your place, and I think that's a big part of leadership. I think you do an amazing job.
Thank you.
Of that, by the way, and plus you always hire people that are kind of cool for me to hang out with. And it takes a certain type of person to put up with my BS, and so you do a good job of bringing those folks in too.
I think we all have a lot of fun together. Yeah, and we still keep in touch with the ones that have moved on. So that's always a good measure for me that that we've had a good run of it.
So what's your what's your favorite marketing channel? Is it video? Is it mailers? Billboards? Sign spinners?
Sign spinners.
What is it? Let's get tactical here. What is your favorite marketing tactic to really pull a campaign off with?
Yeah, well, I mean, we always have to go back to video, right? It's kind of can be the most expensive, but it's really ultimately the best way to elicit emotion. And that's kind of, you and I have both talked about that, right? Like, make me laugh, make me cry.
Yeah.
I want to be able to elicit that emotion and generate a response that's beneficial for the company. So I would say video right now, but there's so many different aspects of other technology that are exciting to me that I want to keep learning about.
Yeah.
I mean, video right now, you can do kind of like a choose your own adventure where it's interactive. Haven't tried that yet, but it's on the roadmap.
Yeah.
AR, just dipping our toe in the water in that's going to be cool to explore to see if eventually that'll catch on. But direct mail, we joke around about that, but it has its place. And it's effective.
Yeah, some people say that and even newspaper stuff is coming back around again.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah.
But I've heard some of that. So,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think there's certain generations that are kind of eager to step back to the basics, have something tangible to really hold on to instead of being.
I think people are looking for a connection.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like like email marketing, right? Email marketing turned into, it was like the highest converting thing, and then all of a sudden us people trying to sell people stuff completely ruined it,
Yes.
Because everybody's email is full of pitches, right? Or buy my stuff,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
And so that's how I think these channels kind of evolve over time, and they kind of change from different priorities. And I think that's a big part of both of our jobs, right? Is trying to figure out which one is the one that we want to really focus on at the time.
Yeah, the key is really not to focus just on one, right? Because it's a mix of all of the channels that are eventually going to draw your attention, or that you're going to engage with.
Yeah. One of the things I think in marketing too is important is, some brands are really good at being authentic and being themselves and knowing really who they are and telling that story in a great way. And some brands aren't, right? You
Yep.
can tell they really want to try to convince you that they are something,
Right.
but more often than not, they struggle with that because I think at the end of the day, your customers really define that, right? And so you want to
So
be
true.
aligned with what your customers, kind of their expectations and what their view of you are, right?
Right. Right.
How do you balance being genuine in marketing and not being just a cheesy John Hill buy my stuff type, right? But being a more authentic, telling a story and kind of passive sales and marketing, I guess is the term. What's your approach with that?
Well, you tell me, does it almost feel like it's too easy just because we work for a company that, one, has fantastic products and services, right? I mean, we have what we call a gold-plated network.
Yeah.
And also fantastic people that are so invested in our community with the foundation and the community events that we support, the scholarships that we give out. So I think
it's an easier story to tell.
It is a very easy story to tell. I mean, not very easy, but what's challenging is gaining the attention. The story itself almost writes itself, right? And so we want to make sure in our marketing team that we are portraying what we can deliver, right? And we can easily do that because we know that so many good people are invested in the message.
Yeah. On that note, right? One of the things that is becoming more and more popular with the evolution of social media and kind of marketing in general, we see it in campaigns nowadays, is to be almost not forced, but controversial, right? Controversy sells, right? But obviously at GVTC, we're not trying to sell any type of controversy. In fact, we're trying to sell a story of community involvement and the things that we do here locally and providing reliable communication services so that your internet doesn't go down and your kids aren't freaking out on you while you're in the house, right?
Right.
There's nothing really controversial about that. But how do you, as marketing and attention, as you said, continues to evolve, how do you keep your content? I mean, I guess it's like you can create the best piece of content in the world, but if nobody sees it, does it matter, right?
Right.
How do you balance that? How do you create content that not just is compelling and tells a story you want it to tell, but it gets attention in today's kind of outrage-based algorithm kind of technology that we work in?
Ultimately, the message that we put out there, if it's reflecting the values that are important to the person who it's interacting with, their family, their business, their community, ultimately, if they see those values reflected in what we're showing them, it's going to draw a positive message and a positive interaction. And they're not just going to trust us, they're going to buy something they feel good about, right? They know that they're investing in something bigger that they're part of. And marketing isn't just about trying to sell you my stuff, right? It's also about educating the consumer about not only how to use the products and services, but let me help you make an educated, informed decision. So while I would love for you to buy our amazing, 5 gig internet service, maybe it's not quite right for your business or residents at that particular time because you may have different priorities. So I think that just giving them the information they need to make those important decisions is really key.
All right. So kind of, as we kind of wrap it up, I got a couple more questions. I know you're busy and you got things you got to get to. I really appreciate you sitting down with me, though.
Thank you.
But get into a little bit more kind of like your history. I know, you've been a big inspiration to a lot of the people that have worked with you and worked for you over the years, right? I've always kind of wondered, because I don't think you've ever told me before, I don't know if we've ever had this conversation, but when you think back,
Yeah.
Who's been the biggest inspiration, kind of influence on you professionally?
Wow, that's a big question. Who's been the
And you
biggest
can't say our boss.
inspiration? I know, right?
He's not here today
He's going to see
anyways.
this though, so you know, the biggest inspiration for me professionally, I would say I draw inspiration from just all of the people I work with on a daily basis. I don't think I could honestly tell you one particular person because I think we all touch each other's lives in so many different ways at different times that it's one of the reasons why I've been here 15 years, right? And why I hope that we can continue to have a positive impact through the legacy of GVTC, because this company is not just about the brand or the colors or the fonts, which we're stewards of, but where we are GVTC and our community is GVTC.
So one of the things that is close to my heart specifically, and I know that I jab at you about this all the time, is your kids play soccer.
Yes,
right?
which you know so much about.
Right, and I literally have nothing. My son played soccer actually, and
Oh,
I
you
had
did?
no idea what was going on the entire time.
That's okay. I still don't know offsides very well, so don't tell anybody.
But you know, one of the things that I really have been excited about at GVTC over the past couple of years is, you know, Texas is a huge football state, right? A huge sports state in general, but football is a big thing. One of the things that GVTC launched, was it last year, was the ability to watch kind of local high school football. And Smithson Valley happened to win the state championship last year, right?
Yeah, congrats.
And,
Go Rangers.
Right, and go Rangers. And this was something where we were able to provide local coverage to high school football games on our TV channel. And that was a project that you specifically spearheaded with one of our partners.
Yes.
Which was really groundbreaking. It was a huge, you won awards here internally for it.
Yeah.
So tell us, like, where did that come from? Was that something you were out watching your kids play soccer and you're like, man, we should put a product together around this because this is what, you know, so many families in our customer base. Like, is that how that came together, or how did that come to be?
Well, speaking of being blessed with internal employees, we've also been blessed with great partners. Bo Wick and Wick Media has been instrumental in kind of giving us the right network to be a part of in order to make this thing come to life, right? It all started like 10 years ago or 15 years ago even, where we started with creating ads for the Smithson Valley High School Jumbotron. And we would use the students, which, by the way, I'm so happy that the students, I've heard, have such a positive feeling about being a part of those commercials. I've heard that they kind of even hold themselves up a little bit, you know, taller.
I'm a celebrity now?
Yeah, I guess so. You know, you're on a Jumbotron.
Yeah.
So we create those commercials with those students for our products and services. And I think that was part of the inspiration that we had to engage the community and being able to deliver, like you said, those community events on our TV.
Yeah.
So we now have partnered with area high schools in order to deliver not just sports live, but we hope to be able to continue to share graduations or events that, you know, that are meaningful for those students
For
and the
parents
overall
of
community.
kids that aren't in sports, right?
Right, right, yeah. So it's really fun to be able to be.
It's got to be awesome
that.
as a mom to be a part of something like that. Too,
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, we've all been in that situation where we can't make it to, you know, an off-site game, but we still want to be a part of it. Or grandma and grandpa want to be able to watch, but they haven't been able to make it to the game. But I think that again speaks to the focus that we have in giving back to the community. It's not just always about conversions, but it's about having that local tie and being able to make a meaningful impact.
Yeah, making a connection with our customers, and then the services sell themselves, right?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a great example of, like, you know, cable TV. I mean, people know that cable TV is kind of a product that people continue to move away from.
Yeah.
We launched a streaming service, which is kind of a direct competitor to, like, YouTube TV and things of that nature, and then we added this type of service onto it.
Yeah.
It was really kind of our ability to, you know, I mean, cable TV is what it is, but this was our kind of our gift back to our customers, right?
Yeah, the local Lens channel on channel 16. Yeah.
Yeah. So awesome. So as I kind of bring this to a close here, I know you got things you got to do. I like to hit ask everybody my final question here.
Okay.
And
Uh-oh.
it's a deep, thoughtful question. So
All right.
prepare yourself.
All right.
So, thinking back, like there's a lot of young ladies listening and or watching this right now, and they're kind of looking for kind of direction in their lives. A lot of them are wanting to be creatives or get into marketing. Thinking back over your career now, if you could go back in time and give yourself some advice that you think would be compelling to anybody young listening to this now, what would you tell yourself, and what would you tell those young people?
I would say to keep drawing inspiration from unexpected places, to always listen to others and keep your ears open, because that inspiration can strike anywhere. To be open to new ideas, to always mentor others. I'm not sure what the saying is, but a candle isn't extinguished by, sharing that light with others. It just keeps,
Yeah.
the light growing. So I think that it's always important for us to, again, learn from our mistakes, learn from our successes. Don't be scared to make those small hurdles, and just stay hungry, really. If you do what you love, what's the saying? You never work a day in your life.
Absolutely.
So I think
We've talked a lot about that.
Yeah, exactly. So surround yourself with people that are just as hungry, just as positive, and invested in growing alongside you, and you're going to get to what you want to do.
Thank you so much for being here today, Maria. I'm so excited for kind of what's coming up for us, in the future, and your creative ideas, the amazingly talented people you continue to bring to the company, and I'm just really excited about what's to come for us. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure, and I'm excited to see what we have in the future.